Trae. Come on, it's the day with Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
Trae.
Come on, come on.
With Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
It's the day with Trae.
This is the day to gain inspiration, to make a positive change in the nation. We're inviting you to partake in conversation, to raise your vibration. It's the day that we will all celebrate all of our peaks that make this thing elevate. Watch the negative fade away, cause it's the day with Trae.
Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I get to welcome you to our last Mindfulness Monday of 2024. We're so excited to have our guests in the building today. Back in the Black Media Matters studios with me is Heru TchaasAmen, amazing Qigong instructor and healer, also bringing ancient spiritual practices to the Pacific Northwest community. We're going to be talking about some things that you can do and an event you can actually attend that's happening later this month to understand more about the winter solstice. And he's going to guide us through the steps in the framework of meditation. So I'm so excited that he is joining me here today. But of course, I'm excited you're joining me as well, y'all. This is our final week of the 2024 season of The Day with Trae. And as always, I invite you to share this show with others who you feel could benefit from the daily dose of dopeness we work to give you here on The Day with Trae. And you know, if you can't watch us, you can always listen to us anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and The Day with Trae. You'll find me on your favorite platforms, okay? Well, of course, up next, really excited to have Heru TchaasAmen in the building once again. What's up, Shechem?
Oh, you know I'm loving life and that more abundantly, as they say.
Yes, since we last connected, you've become a Shechem, and I don't know that we talked about it here. Tell us a bit more about what this title is.
Yeah, Shechem means chief, and it also means unconquered as well. So right now, I was elevated to chief back in March by Shechem TchaasAmen the first, who was also on your show at one point. I think it was in March as well. Yeah. You came out here. He's the writer of Maduna Terra Volume 1, the founder of the Sarset Society International, a Pan-African spiritual community of Kemetic spiritualists. And you know, my responsibility is now for the Pacific Northwest area. So I'm the chief of the Kemetic spiritual organization in this area now. So my responsibilities are there. He wanted to empower me, and strengthen my arm. So I appreciate that. A lot of responsibility, a lot of serving. So I get to serve more.
Yeah. Well, you've been serving for quite some time here in the PNW. And, you know, we talk about Ra Nefer-Amen. I mean, Maduna Terra is like 7 volumes.
Yes.
I mean, he's written, you know, close to 50 books, really working to bring these ancient practices back. And we know that a part of that practice is understanding how to reprogram yourself. And so we want to talk a little bit about this event that you have coming up later on in the month. But we understand the winter solstice is this very special time of year. Tell us a little bit more about the background of winter solstice.
Some would say at the winter solstice, which is around December 21st, that the veil between this plane and the next plane of life is very thin. But it's a great time to reset. It's a great time to purify your chakra, purify your energy, purify your psyche and your mind, really align your spirit, to check, you know, also your spiritual evolution and progress from the year that you've lived, to detoxify the body, detoxify your energy, and then to really plant the seeds for the upcoming year, for a prescriptive spiritual evolution process, really understanding where your weaknesses and strengths lie, you know, and making a plan to progress, you know, naturally through this next year, and also set some goals, right? So what do you want to accomplish? Not just spiritually, but in your mundane life. You know, what if you want to buy a house or go to school or those types of things? How do you really facilitate the energy to do so? A lot of us have been taught, you know, on New Year's Eve to make that New Year's resolution, but the energy is shifted there. So we want to do that prior to getting to New Year's Eve, and then take this seeding through New Year's and the entire month of January to really facilitate growth.
So there's some special things that you get to do here. And I know for me, I've been able to truly utilize the solstice as a way of, you know, changing my own actions and behaviors, and particularly, you know, bad habits, ridding myself of those. But there's, you know, some things that folks can do, and there's also tools that folks can kind of utilize to really help them and aid them in that. So this event that y'all are putting on, right? Coming up December 22nd, right? Wanawari, 1 p.m.
Yep.
We'll make sure that y'all hear that throughout this episode. But what are you looking to bring to the people at this event?
Healing, holistic well-being, mental health healing. We want to see, our Black women activated and healed. We want to see our brothers healed as well. Really purifying minds, right? Understanding, for me, the biggest goal is to teach our people that they're divine, right? My goal is to help you rewire your brain. My main goal is to detach from white supremacy. White supremacy has really infected our way of thinking. We have to start there. We got to clean up our minds, the way that we think, the way that we process information. It's infiltrated that mindset, and so we have to reorganize how we respond to events and situations. And that starts with understanding that you're a divine being, right? If you can understand that you're a divine being and then process through that filter of divinity, you start acting differently and approaching life differently. It's a great time during the winter solstice to reset. And so on that day, there's some holistic health practitioners that'll be there. We have doulas there. We have some body work, some sound healers there. We'll talk about meditation. We'll talk about chi healing and qi gong as well, to really facilitate the energy and the life force and to prepare it for growth and healing. We'll have some great food there and things like that, just to really pour into people and to see how we can heal as a village.
When we think about healing, it's great to see so many different alternative practices that really are ancient. I mean, there are a lot of folks going back to some of these practices. And I know at, previous events, y'all have been able to experience all of the wealth of knowledge in this community up here in the Pacific Northwest, because we do have a lot of folks that are focused on that, these different healing modalities. Tell us a bit about how you've been able to experience that, because you said it, sound healers, you do chi healing, there's acugraphs and acupuncture. I mean, there's so many different things that folks are now getting more accustomed to, but you've been a part of that and really making sure folks understand there are other ways for them to heal themselves. So how have you been able to receive some of those healing services as you've been giving them out to community?
Oh, I get to trade with people a lot, which is nice. People will come to me and we'll talk about Qigong and Qi healing. But then I also get to receive, some of the body work, massage therapy and things like that, the Reiki healing. A couple of weeks ago, Black Power Reiki did some healing work for me when my back was hurting, which was great. So we're finding these nooks and crannies of healers, and we're bringing them together and having conversations and working together. So it's really been a joy to tap into Black healing experiences. Even in my Qigong practice, I've understood now that, one of our ancestors, our great ancestors, Damu, which was, this Buddhist monk, that brought Zen into China, came from, the Deep East. And people are like, well, he came from Indus Kush. Well, what does Indus Kush mean? When we started doing the research, we realized that these were some dark-skinned people that were taking these teachings outside of their communities and civilizations, one of the oldest civilizations on the planet, right? The first civilized people. So it was great to tap into that and reconnect with our ancestral ways in healing. We've all had the conversations about laying on of hands in every walk of life. Reiki is just that. Qigong and Qi healing is that. Massage therapy is that, right? Using food for medicine is that. So learning how to restructure our diets, restructure the way that we think, restructure the way that we move through community, and restructure our healing. Adding, 3,500 years of historical healing along with current medical science, right? We don't want to, eschew current medical science. There's some great benefits there too, but we can have both, right? This, which is ma'at. We have the interdependence between these philosophies. I can take Western medicine, and I can also add to that Eastern and ancient medicine practice and holistic healing practices and really have a robust, health experience.
Yeah, this is something that I've been able to experience personally, and it's interesting because there are certain things that are activated by being able to do both at the same time that I wasn't experiencing before, right? And if I'm only doing a prescriptive approach, there's so much more that I'm missing out, particularly this working of the inner self. And so I want to talk a bit about that because so much of the meditation practice that we're going to be talking about after the break, and when you talk about Qigong and understanding that life force piece, you've talked about this several times with us as we've dived into, Qigong, but it seems like so much of this and so much of the ancient practices are really healing from within, right?
Right. Yeah, we talk about this center channel that needs to be restored, that we don't necessarily have facilitated once we're born, really reconnecting with the self. We spend most of our lives identifying as the not self, right? We identify as our habits, we identify as our emotions and our beliefs, we identify as our trauma, things of that nature. But it's important to identify as what you really are. We're in this, what we call the sebic cycle, right? This idea of what you think, what you believe. So it's really like, okay, do you see yourself and believe that you're a divine person? What does your self-talk look like then? How are you communicating internally? Do you communicate to yourself as the divine self? And then does that project from you out to other people? If we're always identifying with the broken aspects of our being, then how can we expect to be healed? Our goal is to start internally. Identify with what is divine within you, what is perfect and well and whole within you, right? And then begin to match your external to that, right? We got to coordinate, right? We got to match. Black people, we like to coordinate. We got to coordinate the inside with the outside. I can't match. I got to match the inside of my lining with my belt. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, we spend some time really aligning with the true self, and through meditation and breathing practices and Qigong, we can activate the prefrontal lobe, which is where the divine self really dwells, that Ajna chakra, right? And activate that, perceive as a divine individual, and allow that perception to permeate our full existence.
Wow, this is for me, this is always so great to hear the outline really of ancient practices and bringing them back. And I'm so glad that after this break you're going to be guiding us a little bit through what folks are going to be able to experience at this upcoming event at Wanawari on 12/22 at 1 p.m. So y'all don't definitely want to miss this, because after this break we're going to actually showcase and talk a little bit more about the meditation framework. And this is a way that you get to reprogram yourself. Y'all, folks are doing this all over the globe, and I'm telling you from personal experience, it works. So you definitely don't want to miss this. Stay tuned, y'all. You're watching Today with Trae.
Hi there, Manny Santiago from Washington Health Benefit Exchange. We're excited to help everyone enroll in health and dental insurance plans for 2025, regardless of immigration status. Open enrollment is happening right now, November 1st through January 15th. So it's the perfect time to find a plan that fits your needs and budget. Trusted resources in your community are available in person, over the phone, and online to compare health and dental insurance plans from the brands you know and find savings only available at wahealthplanfinder.org to lower your monthly insurance costs. Visit our website at wahealthplanfinder.org or call us at 855-923-4633.
Disney and Cameron Mackintosh's Mary Poppins comes to life on stage at the Fifth Avenue Theatre, featuring Step in Time and Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Make it a jolly holiday at Mary Poppins. For tickets, visit fifthavenue.org.
Empowering the community one connection at a time. ConnectWA is your partner in finding the support you need. Download the app today and experience the difference that a connected community can make. Learn more at eec-wa.org/connectwa-app.
Back to the Future is coming to Seattle.
1955?
If they don't meet, they won't fall in love, they won't get married, and neither you nor your siblings will ever be born.
Whoa, this is heavy. Experience the award-winning Best Musical, Back to the Future, at the Paramount Theater December 10th to 22nd. Get your tickets yesterday.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Of course, we are continuing this phenomenal discussion with Heru TchaasAmen. So, Shechem, we were just talking about guiding folks through the framework of meditation. And this is one of those strong pillars in comedic science, right? Bringing these practices back as people are working on changing themselves. We could say reprogramming yourself. So give us a bit about this framework.
Yeah, well, the basis of meditation, like you said, is around personal change and development, right? A lot of times we think that meditation is for the safe space, so I can just tap out of life for a while, but I can do that with a drink, right? I can do that with a smoke or something. So we're understanding that meditation really is reprogramming the brain, but we have to have certain proponents or certain components, that are necessary. for proper meditation. One of them is the scenario or trigger, right? We have areas in our lives that need to be, fleshed out, sorted out, and reset. And in the Kemetic side of the house, we look at these 11 laws, these 11 principles or faculties of the spirit, ranging from peace, ranging from oneness, all the way down through the physical body. Like, how am I eating? How am I exercising? Those types of things. Everything in between. My imagination, my affirmation and beliefs, my identity, all of those things are outlined in the Tree of Life. And we talked about that in the past. So what we do is, in a trigger scenario, we pick out a space in our lives where we have, historically not done well, right? Let's say I have a coworker or what have you, that every time I see that coworker, I get angry, right? That is a violation of peace. And so we understand, if I am a being that's created in the image of peace, I shouldn't become angry when I interact with this person. So we're visual beings. We see ourselves in that moment, in that scenario. What am I wearing? Where am I located? What's the conversation about? Even the smells. What's going on? Are we cooking and things like that? Is it on location at work or what have you? Is it sitting here in the studio? It can be around nervousness or anything. We want to see it. We need to visualize it. So we meditate and chant, right? Using the proper, technical chant that's related to that faculty. Ong is one of the main pieces that we can use. And Ong is a universal. Ong is a universal chant, but we can use that to activate and to calm the brain down. So we'll chant mentally. We'll work on our breath and slow our breath down as we relax. And then we'll visualize ourselves in that scenario once we get into the meditative mind state. We'll see ourselves in that moment. And then we'll see ourselves, we want to see ourselves doing the right thing. We never want to imagine ourselves doing the wrong thing. So we see ourselves acting as if we're peaceful, relaxed, calm, smiling, those types of things. So we have to add that visual piece to the scenario as well. And then we have to affirm it. We have to affirm vocally or at least with our verbal communication internally, that being at peace in this situation is my joy, because it is guaranteeing me success and well-being and harmony in life, right? So we affirm that truth, that this is my true nature. And then we add to it our goal. I want to be successful in some area of my life. I want to buy a house, or I want to have a great marriage and things like that. So we see ourselves not necessarily at the beginning of that, like, just meeting the person, but we see ourselves celebrating 25 or 50 years of well-being and success, celebrating it. We want to wrap joy around it. So it's important to have the celebration, see ourselves, blowing out the candles and things like that, dancing, eating, having joy there, and having our community enjoy it with us, right? Because joy is not something that you want to contain to yourself. You want it to spread out. So we have to have these components of the meditation to really facilitate our body going out and doing it. Our body and mind doesn't differentiate between the time. It doesn't know if this is happening right now, or if this is happening 20 years from now, or if this happened last year. So if we can get into that meditative mind state, see this visualization, feel it, right? Embrace the joy of it. We activate the body to really walk out and go get it, right? And then we also add a little spice to it by saying, I'm going to act this way the next time I come in contact with the situation. All right, so now we've tricked the mind in a sense to think that it's already happened. The mind is easily, in agreement with that. We come in contact with a person, we're relaxed, we're smiling, we engage now our intellect, right? We know exactly how to avoid the conflict or heal the conflict. And once we do that, we now can start to walk in our blessing, which is wonderful.
As you're describing this, it's so interesting because I've experienced this cycle, right? Where like you try something and it works, and then there's something else that's like triggered in your brain in terms of the experience of it working, to like reaffirm you doing it again and again and again for each of these scenarios, right? And so having these situations that come about, what I've experienced is, oh, yes, there's another opportunity for me to take this scenario through this cycle of meditation. And we talk about, people know this, it takes 21 days to break a habit or to start a new habit, whatever. So there's something really significant about the 21-day cycle of meditation. I want to ask you a bit about that, because there is something that is scientifically proven around this kind of 21-day cycle. Can you tell us more about that?
Definitely. Scientifically speaking, 21 days, 21 hours of repeating right? This healthy activity is going to really align with and really connect to our well-being. We're going to change patterns of behavior. It took us time to get there, right? A lot of things we've said, hey, look, I want to stop smoking. I want to stop drinking. We said that out loud multiple times, some of us. But the problem is we haven't taken it deep into our psyche. We haven't seen it. So we are what we think we are. We are what we visualize. What you see is what you get. And so once you get to the point where you can see it and then take it into this cycle of meditating, repetition is where change happens, right? So what we do is we align it with the moon cycle. We get into the new moon right around, now, and we get into this new moon experience, and the energy that's available during that new moon and all the way to the full moon, we meditate on a very specific element of our being, right? It could be our belief system. It could be our visualization system. It could be just prioritizing healing. Whatever that is, we focus on that for 21 days. Very easy to do because during that specific lunar cycle, that energy is available to us. So we align with that cycle. This is what our people built these temples and these pyramids and these civilizations for, really to understand what cycle we're in so we can apply a scientific practice to spiritual evolution. Spirit and science should match, right? Science tells us that it takes 21 days to make a change. The cycle of the moon is about 21 days, right? So there's a reason for that. And so we can see what is above is also what is below. And we want to apply these universal principles to our lives as well as we expand.
It's for me, there's something very intricate about that because, growing up, we were taught not to think about that, or, it was taboo, or, a lot of probably Black households, I'm speaking generalistically, y'all. I know we're not a monolith, don't come for me, but I'm just saying this idea of, hey, I can't know about, the planet, the way that things are moving. There's these cycles that are natural that I couldn't tap into back then. And so I really appreciate hearing you say that's why now people are understanding that's why these pyramids were built, right? That they were tracking the planetary cycles. Mm-hmm. So there's so much connection between how we're able to reprogram ourselves in these vessels, in these human-like vessels, right? And there's something that you always say that I think really stands out, where you talk about the vessel as the vehicle, right? And you're not your car when you get into your car.
Right.
And when you say this, I think it wakens up for people because they go, oh, that's right. You're absolutely right. And then, Shechem says, look, you wouldn't have your dog walking you.
Right.
There's these certain correlations that I think make a lot of sense to people for them to understand that divine part of them and be able to disassociate a bit from what we thought we were. So all of this, it plays a major role. Now, you're going to be bringing some of this information out. Right. 12/22. Tell us just a little bit more about this event.
12/22, we're going to have a deep immersive experience. We're going to lecture around, these principles and really give you a play-by-play way to implement them. We're going to have space to actually meditate. So we're going to lead and guide meditative practices. We're going to have herbal teas there to support that. Our meditation is going to be aligned with even the physical manipulation. So when you go get a massage, that massage is going to help facilitate deep thought and meditation. Everything that we're doing around this solstice work is for an immersive experience geared towards spiritual evolution, geared towards really rewiring your brain. Right? We want to change the neural pathways of the brain. Our goal is to just wipe out white supremacy inside of the brain, right? And so that we can be together. If we heal ourselves, we can really help others. We have a nation, a community, a township, a family. All of those levels of life need help, right? And so how do we help? We have to change the frequency that's going on, the way that we communicate, the way that we interact. We got to change the vibration. Right? We had to really wake people up, and we change the vibration by healing ourselves. We heal ourselves so we can help and heal others. We can no longer identify as brokenness. We can no longer identify as the vehicle. Like you said, I don't get in my car and be like, oh, I'm an Audi today, or I'm a Volkswagen tomorrow. I understand that every single day I am the being that sees. I'm the seer. And you brought up a great point too around why it's taboo in some of our families. And why wouldn't I create a doctrine, a belief system, an educational system that makes these practices taboo because I understand what true freedom is. And when I align you with true freedom and align you with your divine nature, you are truly free to change the world. And if I can get 3 or 4 people together to change the world's gonna be a better place. And now I don't have the ability to manipulate anymore. So we have to heal the world.
Yeah. I got to give you a little bit of time to look into the camera, make sure folks know why they need to be there at this amazing event, really introducing the truth of winter solstice to the community here. Look right there, let them know why they need to be there.
There is no other place you need to be than Wanawari on the 22nd of December. This is where your healing starts. This is where you jumpstart your goals for 2025. This is where you re-identify as a divine being. This is where you renegotiate your oneness with all things. This is where you really understand the true self. We're going to have deep meditation. There's going to be massage therapy. There's going to be Reiki healing. So we're going to heal the body. We're going to heal the spirit. We're going to heal the psyche. We're going to purify the chakra. And we're going to have a great time. We'll deep dive into these practices. And there'll be an experience for you to actually enjoy a deep meditation that's going to carry you through the rest of the year. And plus, it's free $99. I like to give stuff away. I don't really charge a lot for my practices, so it's free $99. Show up at Wanawari, December 22nd, 1 o'clock. We'll be there from about 1 o'clock to 4 p.m. It's free. Everybody come on out and enjoy the healing experience. Meditate to levitate.
Meditate to levitate. Thank you so much. And it's interesting because on the Day with Trae intro, they show a glimpse of you, right? When he says elevate. So you're already ready. You're already ready. Thank you so much, Heru TchaasAmen, for closing the year out with me and bringing us another segment for Mindfulness Monday. Always so powerful. So really appreciate you being here.
It is truly a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Y'all, what a great way to start off the week. I'm so excited. I get to wrap up this excitement and the peace we're already experiencing here in the studio right after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Disney and Cameron Mackintosh's Mary Poppins comes to life on stage at the Fifth Avenue Theatre, featuring Step in Time and Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Make it a jolly holiday at Mary Poppins. For tickets, visit fifthavenue.org.
Ready to be intentional with your spending? Whether you're gifting it or using it for yourself, the Buy Black card allows you to shop at many different Black-owned businesses across the greater Seattle area, like Love a Latte, Dramer Ice Cream, Maltese Beauty Supply, Pizza by Ruffin, The Spa House by Queen Care, and so many more. You can see the full list of participating businesses when you sign up for your Buy Black card at intentionalist.com. And thanks to our friends at BECU, you'll save 20% when you load your card. Spend like it matters with the Buy Black card.
There's something magical, alchemical about being an artist. Being able to create, mold, envision, enlighten. This is a wonderful task. That's why I do it. My name is Joyce J. Scott, and I'm having my 50-year retrospective walk a mile in my dreams. Come on down.
My hair is definitely unique in the rodeo industry, and not a lot of girls wear their natural hairstyle. And since I do, it makes it a lot harder to find equipment that fits my head the right way. When I speak about being unique, that's what I mean is why should we have to change our hairstyle for safety maybe? Why can't they create something for us to be ourselves in and still be safe on the trails? You don't have to change the way you look because you're beautiful the way you are.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Huge shout out to my guest today, Heru TchaasAmen, bringing some phenomenal healing right here to the Pacific Northwest. And of course, you have the opportunity to experience this, a free event happening on December 22nd, right there at Wanawari in the Central District at 1 p.m. Make sure y'all come out. If you have questions about different practices or healing modalities that maybe you haven't experienced or maybe you have, but you want to talk to some practitioners, you want to understand how meditation can help heal you and those around you, please come out. This is a phenomenal opportunity to really utilize this thin veil that Shechem Heru was just talking about in terms of the winter solstice. This is the time where so many ancient civilizations understood that they get to anchor in on who they really are and how they're identifying themselves and change their behavior, their thoughts, and their actions. So this is a great opportunity for all of you. And I'm so grateful to start the week out with a Mindfulness Monday segment in our last week of 2024, y'all. I'm so thankful that you joined me. And of course, I was inspired. I want y'all to be inspired, because when you're inspired, it enacts action. That's the beauty of it. When we're all being active in our communities, like Shechem Heru TchaasAmen, we all get to participate in the growth and the health of our community. So I'm encouraging you to be inspired, y'all. Let something ignite you so that you can contribute to all of those around you. Thanks so much for watching. You know I'm going to be back with y'all tomorrow. And until then, at 11 a.m., y'all, peace. Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.